what brings you in today?
Oh, I'm really stressed out with school and work, and I just can't sleep at night because I know I have so much to do, but then when I go to do it, it just never happens.
Do you have a plan? Do you have like a routine how you try to do things?
I try to. It's really hard because I get up, go to work, come home late, and then by the time I get home, I just want to eat, and then I just want to sit and veg. I never want to study. I never want to deal with anything. I work at Children's Services, so I don't bring physical work home with me to do, but I bring work home with me, if that makes sense.
Does it make it's hard on you emotionally?
Yes. And not just the patients, or the clients, I guess. They're not patients, but the clients. But like my bosses and my supervisors, because they're just very back and forth, and neither one can agree with the other, and it's very stressful. I mean, to go into work and say, oh, Joe Schmo said I need to do A, B, and C, and then my other boss, Susie, says, no, you need to do B, D, and E.
Have you discussed with them that you're getting different things from both of them?
Everyone has. They have been for years, and nothing ever happens. And the thing is, if you do what Joe or Susie says, the other person's mad. So if you do what Susie says, because usually Susie's right, Joe's mad. But Joe is so stuck in this thought of what Children's Services was when they started.
I see.
And they've been there almost 30 years, and they're very set in their ways. The new regulations and things like that aren't the same. So Susie's up on the new regulations, and it's like, no, you got to do it this way. So it's very conflicting if you do it one way or the other, and it's just...
So how do you handle the emotional stress? Because I assume that it's hard for you to know that if you go do what Susie tells you you're going to do, Joe is going to be mad with you. I assume that's difficult for you.
And it's difficult, but I've just finally got to the point of I usually go to Susie. Joe is over Susie. It's kind of like manager and assistant manager. We call them different things at work, but Joe's the manager and Susie's the assistant manager. Right. But Susie's a lot more understanding too. And if you do something that Joe tells you to do, Susie will be pissed, but not at you. She's upset with Joe.
With Joe, not with you for doing what you're told.
But you still feel the tension. You still get aggravated because, well, I just did what they told me to do. Or if you do something that Joe tells you to do, and then after you do it, Susie's like, well, why'd you do that?
So do you have someone that you talk to after work about, the stress or the aggravation?
Well, I mean, the caseworkers and I together talk. But for years, people have been leaving and complaining to the director when they leave and nothing ever happens. And we're not a union or anything, so it's not like we can go higher up than our director to complain to anybody. And the bad thing is, if you tell the director all of this is going on, if you ever try and get a county job again, it looks bad upon you because you talk bad about your supervisor, and then there's, that. And granted, I'll probably never have a county job within that county again because there's too much politicalness, for lack of better words. Which, I know you're going to get that with any county, but that county especially, it just seems you got to have a name to do anything.
Right.
One day I can do something, the next day I can't. One day Joe tells me, go babysit Beth. The next day, she's like, oh my God, you can't do that because you only have your associate's degree. You're not good enough to do that.
Oh, so there's no real guidelines, strict guidelines. It's changing.
So, and then they're really strict about, well, school's over at this time, so you better be here 20 minutes later because that's all it takes to get there. And, with nursing classes, there's a lot of stuff to do that sometimes you can't walk away right at time, and... And
can you go in and explain to them that, class ran over, so I'm running a little late, or are they accepting of that?
I do, and they just get aggravated. They're, well, you should have been here earlier. Well, I try and tell them I can't be here at specific times. Well, then if I'm sick or don't feel good or anything and I take sick leave, well, then that's an extra day I'm off. And then they're mad because I wasn't at work that day, and there's just never a break. And the weekends are so packed because... schoolwork and trying to do family stuff and things like that just
trying to spread your time out.
I never stop.
Right. So what do you do? I mean, because you obviously can't do that all the time, or, that would be hard. So what do you do to relax or to get your mind back together?
Watch a movie or watch a funny comedy like George Lopez. Best medicine ever. Like, I just sit down at night and watch it and then fall asleep or play on Facebook, see who's, the newest gossip, or
right.
I like reality TV a lot, so.
What kind of support system do you have?
My boyfriend is very, very good. He cannot wait for me to be a nurse. He won't shut up about me being a nurse.
That's nice that he's excited for you. That's good.
And he's going to school too, so we kind of support each other.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
He understands that I need to do schoolwork and homework, or, school and homework and things like that, and he's very, if I'm like, oh, I just don't want to go to class tonight, he's like, you're going, so...
Oh, so kind of keeps you motivated.
Yeah, keeps me motivated. Keeps things in check. Like, well, just think when you're a nurse, you can buy a boat, and things I've always wanted, and he knows that, and he's like, he'll throw those out there. Like,
that's nice that he can relate to you.
Yeah.
What kind of situation that you're in, and he can relate to that.
I live with my parents, and my dad is very proud of me. He always says, I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. My mom's always wanted to go to nursing school and never has, so she's kind of like, I don't want to say standoffish, but she's...
maybe a little resentful.
Yeah, like I came upstairs the first day in my uniform for nursing school, and I was like, Mom, look at me. She's like, oh, that's nice.
Well, how does that make you feel when she says
it just makes me want to smack her. Like, you know what? You can go back to school just as easy as I can. I already have 1 degree, but I chose to go back. Granted, it's less than a year later when I went back, but you can go to school. Like, she used to be an STNA, so she has the general knowledge base to do it, but she's a very hands-on visual learner, so just reading the book stuff would not be good for her. And I think that's part of it. And I have a 15-year-old sister, and I heard my mom saying the other day that my sister's getting ready to start track. And she's not the greatest at track, and she's a freshman, so she may not get to run that much, but my mom says, what if I don't come someday to a track meet, and that's the track meet she wins first place? You know what I mean? Like, someone broke their leg, so they got to throw her in there, and she wins first place. She's like, that would be my luck because I'm in class, and, nursing classes you can't miss.
So she kind of makes you feel guilty because you can't go to all that?
Well, no, she doesn't want to start classes because she can't miss that stuff.
Oh, your mother doesn't want to
start. She feels that she can't, she feels that she doesn't want to do something for herself when her kids are still in school.
I see.
So, if I was in high school, she'd feel the same way. Like, she would want to go to my games and stuff instead. But once my sister's out of school, things might be different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel bad because, and then if I get a good grade, I'm like, oh, crap, I really don't want to tell my parents because Mom's going to be like, oh, good. She's not going to be proud of me. And I know that deep down she's proud of me. She's just very resentful that I'm making it work and she's not.
That seems kind of unfair to you that she didn't do it, so that she's not giving you the support that you need.
Right.
But you do get that from your boyfriend and your father.
Yeah. And my boyfriend's parents are amazing. My boyfriend's dad asks me all the time when we're going to Red Lobster, because if I make the dean's list, he's taking me to Red Lobster.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really good.
He's funny, though, because he's retired, so he's on a fixed income. So it's a big deal to me that he's going to take me to Red Lobster. And he said that he's not paying for drinks or dessert, only my actual meal, no appetizers, just my actual meal. But my boyfriend's mom...
That's still really nice,
yeah,
though,
my boyfriend's mom's like, I'll pay for the rest of it. He has to give everybody crap because he's on a fixed income. But
well, that probably makes you feel good that he's willing to do that, and that's not, your actual parents, but they're still willing to support you that way.
They're just like my boyfriend, very much... You're doing a good thing, good for you, you gotta go. Why aren't you in class tonight? We know you're supposed to be in class. Well, I didn't feel like going. Now, Casey, you need to go, different things like that.
That's nice. Well, that's nice that you have, even though your mom doesn't seem to be openly supportive of you.
Right.
Maybe she'll come around where she will be. But it's good you have people that you can talk to and that are supportive of you.
Absolutely.
Anything else you'd like to talk about today?
That's it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for coming in, Casey.
Thanks.